So what if we finally get an explanation for why the iPhone 14 Pro is getting more love, but it doesn't make sense to you? SES, a new report from Ming-Chi Kuo, tells us why Apple is making some big changes to the iPhone 14 Pro specs, but not all news are logical. It seems like we might be getting a different design to the Galaxy Fold 4 than we were expecting with some renders, and we have new reports with some disappointing information on the AirPods Pro 2, if those ever happen. I'm Jaime Rivera, and now that the food coma is over, we're back to our regularly scheduled means of gaining unsolicited weight. This is Pocketnow Daily. The official news today begin with Apple and the M2 MacBook Air. Earlier today, Cupertino announced that it'll be available for pre-orders starting Friday, July 8th at 5 a.m. Pacific time, with deliveries to customers in store beginning on Friday, July 15th. In case you missed the event, the new MacBook Air has been completely redesigned with a slightly larger 13.6-inch display, a notch, flatter edges, and will be available in two new color options, being Starlight and Midnight, in addition to the typical space gray and silver. It also features MagSafe charging and an upgraded 1080p camera, two Thunderbolt 3 ports, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and 4 speakers. Apple claims that the M2 has up to an 18% faster CPU, up to a 35% faster GPU, and up to a 40% faster neural engine compared to the previous generation. In addition to the M2, the MacBook Air can be configured with up to 24 gigs of unified memory and is available with up to 2 terabytes of solid-state drive. And just to wrap up the pricing, $11.99. It does get expensive. The question is, are you getting one? Let's keep talking Apple, but move on to the next AirPods Pro, if those ever happen. I mean, last week we had rumors about how we could be getting a built-in heart rate, body temperature sensors, and honestly, it all sounded too good to be true, and you know what? It was. Mark Gurman just said that those features are unlikely to arrive, at least for this year. Apparently, Cupertino has been exploring these options to the point where it wouldn't be a surprise if they were to announce them, but it looks like we'll have to keep waiting. Past rumors also show that the AirPods Pro 2 would feature USB-C, an updated H1 chip, and Find My functionality, but Gurman didn't mention any of these, so it remains to be seen if those rumors will turn out to be accurate. The thing about it is, with how long they've taken to update the original AirPods Pro, it's hard to predict if this means delays for the next product, or that we'll still get the update, but then we'd have to wait a couple of extra years for some true changes. We'll see. Now let's talk about Samsung and the Galaxy Fold 4 as we get closer to the expected, probably August Unpacked event that usually happens. If you remember, we got some renders from OnLeaks a while ago showing how this device would look like, including some changes to the camera. However, according to Mr. Tech Talk, the Galaxy Fold 4 camera cutout will end up being quite similar to what we currently have with the Z Fold 3, contradicting the renders we saw before with the redesigned camera bump. Mr. Tech Talk didn't share any other specific information, but he claims the changes are in specifications, particularly with the main shooter being a 50 megapixel camera after all, and that matches other reports we've heard so far, so we'll have to wait and see if the other two cameras will end up being the 12 megapixel ultra wide and 12 megapixel telephoto that we've been hearing about. And finally, just as a reminder, the Fold 4 is expected to bring the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 processor, a 4400 mAh battery, and support for 25-watt fast charging, and will most likely feature IPX8 water resistance rating. We're just a month away from the possible launch, so let's see. And going back to Cupertino for the hottest news today, let's talk about the iPhone 14 series and some rumors that keep circling back and get more interesting. We have a new report from Ming-Chi Kuo reiterating that the A16 chipset will be exclusive for the Pro models of the new iPhone lineup, and I know, this is not something we didn't know already, but now we get to know why. It seems like Cupertino will boost production for their new flagship to 60%, making the base model a second priority with the other 40%. This means that the company expects to sell more Pro units and will even focus their marketing strategy in such direction. The report also mentions that thanks to this decision from Apple, component suppliers are expected to reach record yearly growth. Companies like Sony, LG, and Largan are expected to post 20 to 30% more revenues than last year. Quote also mentions that Sony and LG, who are in charge of some components for the cameras, will only be providing parts for the Pro models, meaning that the base iPhone 14 could be skipping out on camera improvements. So yeah, things are not looking so bright for the base iPhone 14, but in today's question, let us know. I mean, do you think this move makes sense if the Pro models are getting even more expensive according to other rumors? Because, I mean, clearly Apple knows what they're doing, but unless the rumored prices are wrong, it kind of doesn't make sense to me, especially when the regular models are not necessarily changing in price specs. Like, it even makes me wonder, why do these products exist? Like, why are we getting an iPhone 14 that's really an iPhone 13? Is that going to be the case? But anyways, that's just me. Leave us a comment down below. We'd love to know your opinion. Friends, again, if you want to get the news earlier, follow us on Pocketnow.com and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. You can also follow us on social medias. Our extended coverage happens on Instagram. And follow me on my personal handles to see me go out for a run again, because I could totally remember those hot dogs. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.